Research estimates suggest as many as 1 in 5 people in the Western world is currently living with an autoimmune condition, their immune system attacking their own body, mistaking their own tissue for a threat. Crohn's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, type 1 diabetes, celiac disease, conditions that were documented in medieval populations, but not at anything close to the rates filling modern clinics today. The difference between a medieval gut and your gut is not primarily genetic. The human immune system does not develop mass autoimmune susceptibility across a population in 70 years through genetic mutation alone. The difference is what went into the gut every single day, for a lifetime. Medieval people ate fermented food, not because they understood microbiology. They ate it because it was the only food they had. Sourdough bread fermented for days before baking, fermented dairy consumed daily, salt-preserved vegetables eaten through winter, raw honey on every table, unpasteurized beverages delivering live microbial cultures with every drink. Every one of those foods was delivering something to the gut that the modern food industry removed from your daily diet, not as an unavoidable consequence of progress, as a series of specific commercial decisions made between the 1950s and today that prioritized shelf life, distribution efficiency, and production speed over the microbial diversity your immune system was built to receive. The autoimmune epidemic did not emerge from bad luck. It emerged from a food system that removed the gut signals the human immune system had been calibrated on for thousands of years. And the commercial environment that removed those signals created the market conditions in which selling them back as supplements became a multi-billion-dollar opportunity. Subscribe to this channel right now before we go further. What you are about to watch has a paper trail, named decisions, documented research, and when someone tells you this is exaggeration, you will be able to tell them exactly which university published the study and exactly which decade the food industry made the decision that your immune system has been paying for ever since. Here is the specific science connecting what medieval people ate daily to the immune regulation their bodies maintained. The human gut contains approximately 38 trillion microbial organisms. Research published in Nature and Cell has established that dietary diversity is the single strongest predictor of gut microbiome diversity, and gut microbiome diversity is directly linked to immune system regulation. The more diverse the microbial population in the gut, the more accurately the immune system distinguishes between threats and the body's own tissue. Reduce that diversity, and the immune system loses its calibration signals. It begins making errors, attacking tissue it should recognize as self. That is autoimmunity. Not a mysterious malfunction, a calibration failure produced by removing the dietary inputs the immune system was designed to receive. Dr. Graham Rook at University College London developed what is now known as the Old Friends hypothesis. The human immune system evolved over thousands of years in the continuous presence of specific microbial populations. Fermented foods, wild plants, unprocessed animal products, soil organisms encountered through food grown without industrial sanitization. The immune system did not just tolerate these organisms, it required them as regulatory signals, as the continuous microbial input that told the immune system what was safe and what was not. Remove those organisms from the diet, and the immune system does not simply operate without them, it dysregulates without them. A 2021 Stanford University study published in Cell compared 2 dietary groups over 10 weeks. One group ate a high fermentation diet, the other ate a high fiber diet. The high fermentation group showed significantly increased gut microbiome diversity and significantly decreased inflammatory markers. Not marginally decreased, significantly. The immune regulatory benefit of fermented food, measurable in 10 weeks of dietary change, was what medieval populations were receiving every day from every meal across an entire lifetime. Your daily diet is not delivering that, and the food industry that changed your daily diet removed it through decisions that had nothing to do with your immune system and everything to do with their production costs. This is the moment in this video where this channel asks you to subscribe to this channel, because what you are watching is the pattern this channel exists to document one removed nutrient at a time. A dietary input the human immune system required for thousands of years, systematically eliminated from the modern food supply through commercial decisions that had nothing to do with your health and everything to do with their production costs. Subscribe to this channel now so you are present when the next one is uncovered. Here is the specific sequence of commercial decisions that removed microbial diversity from your gut, and what each decision delivered commercially to the industry that made it. Decision 1. Pasteurization. Introduced at industrial scale in dairy production through the mid-20th century, the stated purpose was pathogen elimination. The commercial consequence was extended shelf life and reduced refrigeration cost at the distribution stage. The nutritional consequence was the elimination of live bacterial cultures that raw dairy had delivered to the human gut for thousands of years. Pasteurized dairy delivers calcium and protein. It does not deliver the live bacterial populations that traditional raw dairy introduced to the gut microbiome continuously. Decision 2. Industrial bread production. The Chorleywood bread process, introduced in Britain in 1961, reduced bread production time from the days required for traditional sourdough fermentation to under 4 hours. The commercial consequence was dramatic reduction in production cost and time. The nutritional consequence was the elimination of the fermentation process that produced the probiotic byproducts sourdough delivered to the gut. Industrial bread feeds you. Traditional sourdough fermentation fed your gut microbiome. Those are not the same function. Decision 3. Ultra-processing. The systematic replacement of whole, diverse plant foods with shelf-stable, ultra-processed products reduced the fiber diversity available to gut bacteria. Different bacterial populations require different plant compounds to thrive. A diet of diverse whole plants feeds a diverse microbiome. A diet of ultra-processed products derived from a handful of commodity crops feeds a narrow microbiome. A narrow microbiome produces a dysregulated immune system. Decision 4. Industrial livestock antibiotics. Research has raised documented concerns about antibiotic residues in food products and their potential effects on consumer gut microbiome populations. The evidence on direct dose response at typical consumer exposure levels is still developing, but the pattern of antibiotic use in industrial livestock farming and its potential downstream effects on the gut microbiome of consumers is an area of active and serious scientific investigation. Research and foundation data document significant increases in inflammatory bowel and autoimmune conditions across Western populations since the mid-20th century. Since the mid-20th century, the period when every one of these commercial decisions had been fully implemented across the Western food supply. That timeline is not a coincidence, it is a consequence. Do you want to hear the consequences that it costs your body right now? Not in a medieval farmhouse. In your immune system, today, this year, this diagnosis. If you or someone in your household is managing an autoimmune condition, the timeline of that condition's emergence maps onto the timeline of industrial food processing, replacing the dietary inputs your immune system was calibrated on. That does not mean industrial food processing is the only factor. It means it is a documented factor that the industry responsible for it has no commercial interest in placing at the center of the autoimmune conversation. The global probiotic supplement market is valued at tens of billions of dollars, according to multiple market research reports. Tens of billions. Selling back in capsule form the microbial diversity that pasteurization, industrial bread production, ultra-processing, and agricultural practices removed from your daily diet. The commercial environment that removed the gut signals your immune system required also created the market conditions in which selling them back as supplements became one of the fastest-growing product categories in the global wellness industry, because they never had to buy back what had not yet been taken from them. Here is the honest question this video ends with, not the prepared answer, the real one. Think about your daily diet right now. How many fermented foods did you eat today? Not probiotic supplements, actual fermented foods. Sourdough bread made with a live culture, raw, unprocessed dairy, traditionally fermented vegetables, raw honey. The foods that delivered continuous microbial diversity to the human gut for thousands of years before a single commercial decision made them inconvenient to produce at industrial scale. How many of those foods were in your meal today? Drop that honest number in the comments right now, not the number that sounds healthy, the real one. Because the gap between the microbial diversity medieval people consumed daily without thinking about it and the microbial diversity your daily diet delivers is the gap your immune system is trying to bridge. And the commercial environment that created that gap is currently charging you tens of billions of dollars a year to partially close it. The medieval immunity story is not isolated. Remove the dietary input, create the deficiency, sell the supplement to manage the deficiency. Then, when the supplement produces its own limitations, sell the upgraded version at a higher price. That is not a health system. That is a deficiency manufacturing cycle. And it runs on the removal of something your immune system was receiving for free from every meal your medieval counterpart ate without ever knowing why it was keeping them well. Subscribe to this channel now and turn on your notification bell before you move on, because this channel is not finished. There are nutrients your body was designed to receive, systems your immune function depends on, and dietary inputs the modern food industry removed, not because they stopped working, but because they worked without generating a supplement sale. This channel documents them one at a time, with evidence, with the commercial paper trail, with the specific decisions those industries are counting on you never connecting. The people who subscribe to this channel right now will be there for everyone. Do not leave without subscribing to this channel. This is the channel they are counting on you never finding. Medieval people fed their gut microbiome at every meal without knowing what a gut microbiome was. The commercial environment that emptied that microbiome understood exactly what it was removing. It removed it anyway, and built a multi-billion-dollar supplement industry on the deficiency it created. Now you know what was buried. Share this video and give us a thumbs up. It helps more than you know, and we greatly appreciate you for doing that. See you in our next video. Stay tuned.